Hey everybody, welcome to Commentary Central. This is Jared, my cohort.
Andrew.
And today we're watching Captain America Civil War. This is kind of special because we're recording this on 4th of July. We didn't really plan it that way. We were planning to do this for Spider-Man Homecoming, but it just worked out that we recorded a Captain America movie on 4th of July. So it worked out pretty well. You have any thoughts to share before we start this movie?
No, let's just go for it.
All right, let's hit play.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to hit play. 3, 2, 1, play.
Got the fade in on the snowy bunker.
There's
1991.
Where's your favorite part of the movie? The title screens.
Not my favorite part, but they're interesting. It's an interesting way to go with it. You're never lost.
The Russo said the reason they did that is they're kind of like chapter marks in the film.
True.
Like every time you see one, it's starting a new piece of the story.
That makes sense.
So that's why they said they did that.
This is just a really cool shot right here. You know, we know how this movie ends for Winter Soldier, but I'm going to be very interested to see what happens to him in the future. Because I really believe at the end of the next couple Avengers movies that Chris Evans is going to step away for a while, and they will make Sebastian Stan the new Captain America.
I agree.
Or they may not call him Captain America. He could be, they could make him a version of like U.S. Agent or the Shield or something like that. But he'll take up that mantle, at least spiritually.
No, I agree. I just, like, they've done a really good job with the character, but he needs one more thing before you can just make him the next Captain America.
Well, you know, it'd be awesome.
What's that?
It would be awesome to have a movie of Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, and Black Widow doing a mission together. Just call it like Marvel Black Ops or something.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, like I said, he needs to do one.
One more thing.
Yeah, because really, he's actually never technically done anything that heroic yet.
Yeah, I mean he's chosen to do the right thing, but like it was something that anyone who's a decent person would do in that circumstance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's always, like I said, he needs to do something really heroic in the next couple of films he's in.
This is a great setup, by the way. Right here, just to see that car crash, but you don't know the context just yet.
You know what? I miss this old intro now.
This is a good intro.
The other one's, it feels like it goes on forever.
I'll say this. I notice in frames of that, shots from Ultimate Spider-Man, that comic, because I actually collected that comic when I was a kid. I still have them somewhere. And let me tell you, like, that was some good comic reading. Part of me has to wonder, did they digitally remove the camera from that spoon's reflection?
I really don't know. Only thing is, I love how the disguises in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just a blue ball cap.
Yeah.
And aviator glasses. That's it.
What's your opinion on Crossbones here? Because I like him. I just hate that they made him go out. I will say this. At least he went out in a meaningful way that caused something. But Marvel just has a bad history of killing all their villains.
It still hasn't got to a point to me where it's as annoying as it is to some people. Like, I find it, well, I don't know if creative is the right word, but they kept him alive in Winter Soldier just to bring him back. So that's like never been done before, but they kill him in the first 10 minutes of the movie. But like I said, it doesn't bother me. And I think it works to Because what they were trying to do here is just show the new team in action
Yeah,
after Ultron, and so you needed sort of a throwaway villain, pretty much.
and I get that. It just
That
I
looks.
don't think he necessarily has to be killed. Oh, you were saying
No, I was just gonna say that CGI looks a little bit better than
in the theater?
no in the theater. I thought it was awful. That red, not
Oh
red
yeah,
bird, red wing.
yeah, Red Wing. But it looks better now than it did in the theater.
Yeah, but maybe it's because it's on a smaller screen.
Maybe so. I will say I love this movie. It's my third favorite Marvel movie. But let me tell you, there are a couple shots in this movie CGI that are a little bit iffy. I can totally forgive it because this movie's like packed full of CGI and great moments, and you can tell they worked really hard on this movie. And it's a great movie, but there are a couple of iffy CGI shots here and there. This poor guy. People get mad and say, Captain America doing all that. These guys are probably dead. And you know what? You're probably not entirely wrong. Some of them probably survived. A couple of them maybe didn't. And people get mad. It's like, why are you mad that, like, say Batman will kill or another character will kill, but you're not mad that Captain America will? And I'm like, well, he never made an oath not to. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree.
And in Captain America's character, it's been shown that he doesn't just kill indiscriminately. Like if he can avoid killing someone, he will. But if he has to do it, he will. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree. I've never had a problem.
And one thing I love is just I can't see anyone else as Captain America. Chris Evans. When I first heard he was going to play Captain America, it's been so long that I'm having to really reach back to remember. But I can remember just being like, "Oh, really? The guy who played the Human Torch?" Ugh. But I can't see anyone have playing this part better.
No, I agree because all his movies up before this were these weird like comedy movies.
You mean like the the '90s
Whatever
versions?
that movie was called. Yeah, like there was that one movie. It escapes me. But, yeah. But yeah, he was always like the goofy whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he's pretty much Johnny Storm in all his early movies. So it really didn't make sense.
Talking about Captain America or Chris Evans?
Chris Evans.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love the fighting style they gave to Black Widow in this movie. It's fantastic. Is it just me, or does it seem like they shot this at a higher frame rate, or they sped up the footage just a little bit,
Maybe a little bit.
maybe like 1 or 2%? By the way, this is the longest fuse grenade I've ever seen in my life.
What were those two guys doing anyway?
Probably just backup in case they needed it, or they're part of the getaway team.
I mean, they should have been doing something. They're just sitting there.
Supposedly that guy right there played Thanos in the post-credit scene for Avengers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was just waiting until I get a clear shot. But yeah. Yep.
It was nice that they gave him this part, though. It was like a cool little callback. That would break anyone else's back.
Yeah. It's a creative way to get rid of his shield, though.
Yes, it is.
Take a shield out of play.
Just throw it like a magnetic bomb.
Yeah.
I love Falcon's wings. Just how you use them as shields and also as just like gliding gear. Some great parkour here. Oh. I really think a Black Widow movie could work. It's just you would have to make it like for probably about 60 to 70 million as opposed to like 150.
I don't know.
But the secret is don't just make it a Black Widow movie. Like I was talking about Hawkeye and Winter Soldier being in a movie with her. I think that would really be a good movie. If you could shoot that for like, we'll say $75 million, I think that would be awesome.
I don't know. I don't think you could do all three of them. You need her in either or. And also, for me personally, I don't know where you would go with the story, because I feel like I know enough of her character that I don't need any more information.
I will say this. I think an awesome part of that, an awesome storyline, someone mentioned this premise. I think it'd be awesome. Nick Fury has been kidnapped, and she has to find out who did it. And it'd be cool if it turns out the kidnapper was the people who originally like brainwashed her and trained her. And on her way to fight them, in the comics there was another person who had the Black Widow mantle. It'd be cool if they had their own Black Widow, another person who took up that mantle.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I read something today where it says Nick Fury may come back for Captain Marvel.
I think that'd be awesome.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And once again, we don't know who's going to come back after Infinity War, because technically everyone's contract's pretty much done. It's just whoever wants to come back.
I have a feeling Chris Hemsworth will come back as Thor. I'm not so sure about Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, but I'd say Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are done.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I honestly think Iron Man's going to die in Infinity War. If not die, or he's at least going to die, then be brought back, and then leave.
I think there's a possibility. It depends on how much Robert Downey Jr. wants to play ball, but he could be like the mentor for the next phase, kind of like what he's doing in Spider-Man, and he could just be like he's not in action anymore. He's not in the suit, but he's just there to help guide him.
I agree, but
kind of like Nick Fury.
I still think he's going to die because. Okay, well, here's the deal. Do you have any Iron Man, Tony Stark fatigue?
Not right now, I don't, but I can understand why some people would.
Because I sort of do. Like, it's hard not to like just the character. Like, he plays it perfectly. Great, but it is starting to get a little annoying because he's everywhere. Become the face of the MCU. Yeah. Which I kind of don't blame him for that. But also, it's starting to just be like he's everywhere. A lot of things seem to revolve around him and stuff like that. And so it's just like, I honestly think, that's why I think they're building it up. He's eventually going to leave. And I think, once again, I don't know if he's going to die and stay dead. Mm-hmm. If he does die, they can use the Infinity Stones to bring him back, and then he just goes off into the sunset.
And that would be a good ending for that character, in my opinion. This CGI, I know you think it's pretty iffy. I think it's darn good.
Wait, what? I never said that.
Did you not?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
so, I got you confused.
I actually think this is better than Michael Douglas and Ant-Man.
They keep getting better, which is awesome.
Because Michael Douglas was just a little too plasticky. Eyes are a little off, but Yeah, but
The eyes and the right where the cheekbones are just a hair off, but it's
yeah.
okay.
But it actually works this time around because it's a hologram, so you can be like,
Yeah.
it's kind of iffy to begin with. Because, okay, going back to this, like, this whole movie basically, it's not all because of Sokovia, but it was what pushed.
It was the flashpoint.
Yeah, and it's honestly Tony Stark's fault.
Yeah, pretty
All
much.
of it. But like in the movie, he's see that's the only thing that kind of doesn't make sense to me, or maybe it does. He's like, it's his fault, but he's making everyone else get in line because of his mistakes. And to me, it kind of makes him like a jerk in a way. Like, he's like, you know what? I'm the one who built this psycho killer robot. I built a second one that could have been even worse than the first one, but he turned out okay. Great vision.
Yeah.
But you know what? You all need to be put in check.
Well, he himself believes that too, but
like,
I think Tony plays the role of someone who has realized they've made a serious mistake and they're grasping at any straw they can to try and fix it. And in doing so, they're kind of overcorrecting.
Well, once again, though, it's him.
Yeah.
The Avengers have done nothing. He's the one that's always overcorrecting.
But since he's looked at as the leader, or at least the co-leader of the Avengers, they get that stigma.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, he's always, I don't know, it's just, he's always like, we did this, we did that. He's like, no, pretty much everything in the MCU, once again, is kind of his fault. He's created all his own villains and everything. It's just like, and then he's like, you know what? We all need to be kept on track. I'm like, no, you need to be locked away in a hole somewhere. and like I said, I hope they address that in some way before he does leave. Like, I would like somewhere it's like, I've tried to blame all you, but it's all my fault. Everything. And that's why I think literally when he goes out, he's going to be like, you know what? This is all my fault. Everything. And that may be how the team gets back together eventually for Infinity War. He'll be like, you know what? It's all my fault.
I just hope whenever he and Steve Rogers come back together, I hope it's not 100% friends again. All right, all's forgiven, forgotten. I hope there's still a little bit of tension, at least for a few scenes.
Yeah. No, yeah, I hope it's...
And where we got 2 Avengers movies, I think that's totally possible.
Well, I want it a little bit better than the ending of this movie. Because it technically doesn't end on a high note, but it kind of does too. Like, I understand.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I understand why they did it, but it was a little bit too much of a happy ending, just like Age of Ultron. Just like, well, you know what? We almost destroyed the world. Have a great day. We'll see each other next time.
The only bad thing right here is this
woman standing in the right exact spot where he was going to come.
Well, not that, but she plays Mariah on Luke Cage, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's a continuity error.
Once again, once again, it doesn't bother me because I know a lot of people want all those stuff to cross over and whatever. I really don't want them to. I think they should remain separate. So I've never seen Luke Cage, so I have no idea. I just know
you need to get on that, man. That's a good show.
I just know that from people talking about it. Well, in Spider-Man: Homecoming, like one of the Howling Commandos is, I think, going to be one of Peter Parker's teachers, like the actor.
Really?
Yeah. But in all honesty, unless it was Dum Dum Dugan, you're not going to know any of the other ones when you see them. So that stuff doesn't really bother me.
Yeah. Well, the person who plays Peter Quill's mom was in the first Avenger.
Is she one of the girls?
Yeah, like he stops to look at her and he kind of freezes for half a second and the music kind of blares. And she's only in it for like 5 seconds, but she is in that movie. King T'Chaka of Wakanda. No, that's a computer.
Mhm.
I know I've said it before, but I'll just say it again. Like, I adore the character of Captain America. They did a perfect job with his character thus far.
Mhm.
I mean, you said this and it stuck with me, and it's true. I care, like you said, I care about Steve Rogers. The fact that he's Captain America is just a bonus, and that really is true.
Oh yeah, that's why I think First Avengers is still in my top three films, just because I love like Skinny Steve, all his scenes.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really amazing.
Also, Vision's dress wear is just on point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he's trying to be more human, trying to fit in. I will say this, and later on we'll get to it. I don't think they really knew what to do with Vision in this movie.
You're right. I mean,
But he is the most powerful thing right now
exactly.
on the planet, so
It's General Ross. I mean, the Secretary of State.
I mean, he technically is General
Yeah.
Ross, but I kind of do like where they brought him in because,
He could or couldn't be, and it still works.
yeah, because I know, he hates the Incredible Hulk, whatever.
Does he?
Well, isn't that why, doesn't he hate Incredible Hulk?
I don't know if he does or doesn't.
Not the movie, I'm talking about the actual Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross, the character, he's always hunting the Hulk.
Right.
And I don't know if he's anti-superhero, but I kind of think he is slightly.
Yeah.
Because to me, he's like old-fashioned, just, we can take care of this humanity. And I like now that, since that time where he's just blowing up universities, he's like now maneuvering
Exactly.
to where he can actually do damage to them. Like, he's finally realized I can't take him out with bullets, so I got to do it through politics.
I think his point of view, whether it's like this in the actual movie or not, and I love this ground view of Avengers. That's fantastic. But I think his point of view is if I can't control it, it's a liability, and he can't control them, and that's why he wants to put them under the thumb of the government. Because if he can do that, he can control them, make them do what he wants.
Yeah, and once again, I like how he realized the only way to do that is to lay aside the guns and put on a suit.
Exactly.
And get into the bureaucracy of it. And I mean, it's not like he's a Hydra agent or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's just like
he thinks control belongs in the hands of the government, and that's just how it is.
Yeah. But I mean, I can understand the argument, but Sokovia was their fault. Lagos was their fault. But really, New York and Washington, D.C. wasn't technically their fault.
Exactly.
But, whatever. I mean,
Lagos wasn't even their fault except for the building exploding.
Well,
that was Wanda's fault, but the whole rest of it, except for that part, it wasn't really, there.
Yeah, so... And I mean, they were going to nuke the center of New York City.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. It's nothing.
But that was Nick Fury's decision. Well, it wasn't Nick Fury. It was the
No.
World Council, but that was part of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is now dissolved. So that would let them know that's why the government itself needs to be controlled, not just this agency that does what it wants. I actually hope that by the time we get into Phase 4, I hope S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't come back, but I hope they establish Sword or Hammer.
I think something's going to come back.
S.H.I.E.L.D. will come back in some form, just probably not called S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly.
Hope they form, Hammer. That'd be pretty cool.
Cleveland. Moving into the next part of the story.
Tennessee or Ohio?
Probably Ohio.
Yeah. Dudes are wearing long sleeve shirts.
Only problem is this dude's super paranoid, but he still opens the door.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? Like,
Well, it's possible that if he doesn't take care of this now, the dude could call the police in his mind, and that would be even bigger trouble.
I don't know. To me, it's just like, wait, are those boards on the windows?
Yeah. And he's CG'd up just a little bit.
So, so this movie is, well, I don't like using the word, but comparable to Batman versus Superman.
They're the same plot structure.
So if you do now, listen, I hate Batman vs Superman. I'm to the point. I think it's one of the worst, if not the worst, comic book movie ever, and we can talk about that later. But yeah. I will give you this one. He somehow knew this box was on this dude's wall.
Yeah.
So that one's one of those ones like he has this knowledge for reasons.
But well, I mean, he strung the guy up, so he probably was able to get the location out of him.
I doubt it because he's like, tell me.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no. So, yeah. Well, whatever. Still 10 times better.
Some people say Zemo's not a good villain. I think he's alright. He serves the purpose of this movie. He's not one of the greats, but, well, honestly, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's actually pretty good. He's probably in the top 5. Because, I mean, Loki's obviously number 1. I would probably put Red Skull at number 2. And then, gosh. Who else is there, really?
Once again,
yeah.
For me, it hasn't become an issue just yet. Because it's their universe is built around their heroes. And
that's fine, but as The Dark Knight showed us, sometimes the best way to have a great hero is to have a great villain to challenge him.
Well, yeah, but
if your hero isn't challenged, you can't really bring out that greatness.
Like I said, it hasn't become an issue for me yet. What was I saying?
He basically made the point if this guy would have just told him what happened December 16th, 1991, a lot of the stuff with Bucky and Germany would never have had to happen.
Okay, here's the deal. This dude's not going to drown here.
Yeah, yes.
No. Look where his nose is at and where the sink is at. He literally will have to drown himself. And they changed the shot. So anyway. But before that, his nose was way above the water line. He was.
It could have been where he had to like hold his head up like this.
Like I said, he killed himself. That was poor way to kill somebody. But anyway, okay, so Zemo, man, they're just talking right now. Who cares? Zemo, like, I think I don't know. Yeah, he's. I don't know. To me, he's misunderstood. Like, for me, Zemo is not really the villain. He's the personification of
the chaos that the Avengers bring.
Yeah. And I think in that capacity, he works.
Yeah.
Like, once again, even though he's kind of pulling the strings, they have to, when it comes down to when they actually exchange blows, they have to.
Mm-hmm.
Batman and Superman never had to fight in that movie.
Yeah.
Ever. And when they finally did, it was so contrived that you're just like,
I'm done.
Yeah. They never had to exchange a single blow in that movie. But they have to here, especially the airport. Now the one at the end with Captain America and Iron Man, that one's a little iffy.
You can make the argument. That's the thing. You can at least say there was a reason behind it.
But once again, it was. But in the end, it's still kind of worse because it was his goal to tear up the Avengers, and the way to do that is get that VHS tape, and he gets it. The only one thing I wish that Zemo would have had, I wish it was explained that he was like a master tactician, or something. Like he could see, he was great at like moving pieces around. Because really. I think it says later on he was like Black Ops in Sokovia or whatever. So
yeah,
he was a great soldier. I just wish it was like he had like a genius mind or something.
I could have used one more scene going into his backstory just a little bit.
Well, yeah, like I said, or just say he has like one of the highest IQs of any human.
I think that's putting a little too much importance on him, though.
Well,
because I think the point of this is to show that one average guy, he's not average in the average sense, but like one guy who doesn't even have superpowers, if he puts his mind to it, can take down the world's strongest team.
I don't know that.
And
I don't know.
I think
For me, that's a
part
little
of his...
too simple. And once again, well, actually, see if they would have addressed that. I could buy that because this huge team can be brought down by one human being.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe that. Actually,
I think it's a subtext.
Yeah, actually, that's quite amazing. This movie is 10 times. 20 times better than I ever thought it would ever be. Once again, I don't fully buy Tony Stark's motivation. I understand it, but to me, it's just like, you know what? Let's just blow up the government.
Well, like here's the thing about Tony. I believe he genuinely thinks by putting the Avengers, by making them accountable, by putting them underneath some form of control, he is stopping further disasters from happening. And in doing this, he feels like that in some way, not fully, but is atoning for the sins of his past.
Well, yeah, that's my only problem.
And does he go a little extreme with it? Yes, but I think he finds out once he's under the thumb of that government, it's not as great as he thought it was going to be.
Well, like I said, all I need before he leaves is be like, you know what? It's all my fault.
I'm sorry.
I just want him to finally get to a point where he admits it's his fault. Because I don't think he's ever
went that far.
Yeah, he never admits it's his fault. Like he'll feel like remorse, but he'll never just come out and say he's sorry. He'll just keep pushing ahead.
It'd be pretty cool. Well, maybe this would be a little bit too much, but there's been rumors that Marvel's talked about doing a Captain Britain movie. It'd be cool if he was somehow related to Peggy Carter. Like, where Sharon Carter is her niece. What if, her nephew was Captain Britain?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too close for comfort. Because not everything has to be connected, but yeah.
That's true. And I mean, a lot of people have issue with, what's her...
Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter and Steve Rogers hooking up.
I don't. Just because Peggy found happiness and got married, and I think she would want Steve to be happy, even if it is with her niece.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it was...
It's not like it's her sister,
Or granddaughter.
Yeah.
Or something really close, at least.
Yeah. At least there's some separation there.
Yeah.
The speech she's saying right now is based on a comic speech that Captain America gave to Spider-Man. And, if you go read that original comic speech, I highly recommend you do. Just type in, Captain America comic speech or whatever. That full speech is epic.
It's in Civil War, right? Like the Civil War comic?
I don't think it's in that, but what it's in, it's a fantastic speech. Go read that. It's 2 paragraphs long.
I do like this small scene right here.
Oh,
because
it helps make the movie.
Well, because also we knew going in that Black Widow was going to be sort of on the other side of things, and we were kind of just like, how's that work out after Winter Soldier?
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of makes sense. And like I said, all these characters have evolved in some way or the other from the very first time they've appeared.
I was going to mention that, The Avengers is my favorite Marvel movie. But when I go back and watch that, I'm like, I still love that movie, but it's these aren't quite the same characters that I'm watching now. But I love that because what that tells me is there's been some character development on them, and they have changed, and that's awesome. That's what you want. You want your characters to change, because I can't wait until they come out with the final Avengers movie, or the fourth one. It won't be the final one, but the fourth one. And I want to go back and watch from Iron Man all the way to the end of that just to see how these characters change. That's going to be one epic binge watch, but
Oh yeah.
it's going to be like 23 movies. Vienna.
Next chapter.
Yep. There he is. I have really high hopes for the Black Panther movie. Black Panther is probably in my top 10 favorite Marvel heroes, so I'd be pretty disappointed if it didn't turn out well.
Oh, I know nothing about Black Panther, so
He's a really cool character. In the comics, he actually married Storm from the X-Men.
oh okay. X-Men.
Here's the thing, while in an ideal world it'd be great to have like the X-Men part of the MCU, I will say this much. It's okay that they're off in their own little universe simply because it doesn't make, I think you've even said this before and it's true, it doesn't make sense why the public would love Captain America and Spider-Man yet hate the X-Men and revile mutants. You know what I'm saying? So if anyone deserves to be kind of off in their own little universe, it is probably them.
Once again, don't need them.
That's true.
Their powers don't really. Well, anymore, their powers don't really jive with where we're at now.
And
like,
yeah.
To me, it wouldn't mix. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would love to see Wolverine team up with him once.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be awesome.
But he's the only one,
yeah.
you know. Like
exactly.
I don't like the X-Men pretty much at all, but yeah, give me Wolverine. That's the only X-Men I actually do know anything about.
If they could ever have some weird deal to where they could get like Sony with Spider-Man, if they could ever just get Wolverine, forget the rest of the X-Men, just to get Wolverine, mod his origins, and make him just like born with this superpower instead of just being like a mutant, you know, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't never say never because people were saying the Spider-Man deal would never happen, but
yeah, like I said, I don't know. For me, X-Men, their powers are just so ridiculous. I can't take it seriously. Like a mutant, you know, a mutant doesn't have the ability to
shift the weather.
Yeah, a mutant would have like 6 toes or something. You know, it's just to me it was just to me it's just ridiculous. And I know that's weird to say about comic books, but I never could buy it.
I love his crying scene right here. He's very good.
Yeah.
I love how it goes kind of slow motion and back to it.
And once again, I know a lot of people, and I think I've been guilty of it, how you need to just take your time to build a universe, but they literally had all Avengers and introduced 2 more characters in this one movie.
And it all still works.
And it works. So it can be done, but
this movie's kind of an exception, not the rule, though.
Well, but you have to understand and have a direction.
Exactly.
And I still don't think Warner Brothers has a clue where they're going. And I know, and once again, Wonder Woman, I did go see it. I did see it. It had a 93%, so I had to
give it a shot.
Yeah, I said if it was above a 60, I'd go see it. First off, the movie's fine. It's not a 93%, not even close to that. Maybe an 85 at best, or an 80. But one good movie, I'm not going to be like,
I'm back on board.
Yeah, no.
It does give me hope for Justice League to see what happens.
Oh, I still think that movie's going to be a mess, but
we'll find out. You Marvel fanboy.
Actually, I'm not going to watch that movie either unless it scores high. That's my new rule. I'm a strong supporter of Rotten Tomatoes. This is actually the weakest part of this movie for me.
The facial prosthetic thing?
It was just a mask.
Yeah.
Like in Winter Soldier, you have the technology where it's this electronic mesh, and you just use a prosthetic mask. I'm just like,
to be fair, he does have the hood on. He's got like the collar popped up. So
yeah, no, it's just like seriously. But I will give it a pass because, I mean, Tony Stark should have noticed that first thing. You know, but I guess he's so focused over here that he doesn't take the time. Because, you know, in Iron Man 3, he could digitally reconstruct a blast area
Yeah.
in full resolution,
Yeah.
and yet he couldn't. And then in this, he's like a dude in a mask, and he couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Just like, but I guess I can give it a pass because he's so focused over here that he's just looking for a reason
Exactly.
to go. So, like I said, they do pretty well covering their tracks. Even the questionable things, I'd be like, I can live with it. See, okay, a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on that ring. I don't think there's any. I don't think it's like a magic ring or anything. I think it's just symbolic.
I think it's the ring of kingship.
Oh yeah, I like a lot of people's like. I wonder if it's a magic ring. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just a symbolic ring of he's now the king.
Yeah.
And
we could be proven wrong in Black Panther.
Oh yeah. At least his hat's burgundy. So now it'll look less conspicuous.
You ever wonder if they've ever, like, you see Sam sitting there eating, you ever wonder if they're in the middle of the fight and he's like, oh man, I have to go to the bathroom. It's like, what do you do? Just be like, I'll be back in 5, guys.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure in the moment you don't even think about stuff like that.
True. You think that was a nod, or you think they just kind of wrote it in there and it just happened?
I think that may be one of those coincidences. Happy coincidences that just happened. Because, yeah.
Now, if the next Spider-Man movie is called Spider-Man Freight Car, I'll be really freaked out. But
because I guess technically Homecoming could also mean, like, I don't know.
Him coming back to Marvel.
Or, no, I'm talking about here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it could just mean, like, Bucky coming back to the dark side or something. I don't know.
I don't think those words have meaning. I just think they're a random association of words that are used to trigger his brainwashing.
That is what they are. But I'm just, if I had to try to figure out what he's talking about.
Look at those plums.
I don't know. I'm just, like I said, it's the ball caps. Like, he's literally knowing, well, actually, I guess the Winter Soldiers. Well, but they leaked all that information online.
Yeah.
The SHIELD files. So has no one ever been able to put 2 and 2 together?
Well, here's the thing, though. All those files were dumped online. We're talking like billions of files. And even the stuff S.H.I.E.L.D. had on the Winter Soldier wasn't conclusive.
And then this dude spots him from 30
they,
feet away.
They didn't keep good record of the Winter Soldier. Hydra didn't, because he was like one of their secret weapons. So they didn't really keep records of him. So until that picture showed up on the news, people really probably didn't know what he looked like.
So I wonder what the span of time is. Because if it's in the newspaper in a different country...
Probably, well, news travels fast, man. It was probably the next day. Or a few hours later, honestly.
Well, but I'm talking about in a newspaper. So it'd probably at least have to be a day.
Maybe, but I know, like, you can kick a news story pretty fast. Because whenever I took journalism classes in college, there was times when they'd give us, like, a pretend scenario, and you'd have 45 minutes to write a story.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, used to, they would run 2 papers a day, but I don't think anyone does that anymore.
No. Get it all online.
So it's at least been a day. just to get to the actual paper. Yeah, this story was online in the first 60 seconds.
Yeah. This is a great fight scene, by the way.
No, I agree. And once again, love Marvel. The only thing I can ever do is nitpick. My only problem when you're fighting Captain America or the Winter Soldier.
Do you ever expect to win?
Well, no. They only ever shoot. They never shoot them in the legs ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They never aim for the feet. Nothing. It's always
part of that reason. A lot of people will say, not to get political, but in like a police shooting, they're like, couldn't they have just shot him in the foot or the leg or whatever? It's like, look, when you are trained and you have to make snap decisions on when to shoot, you do not aim for arms, legs, or all that. You aim for center mass.
Well, I would agree, but but in those situations, they're not holding a bulletproof shield.
This is true.
Right in front of them, and not a bulletproof arm.
But also, you gotta remember, with guys like this, you don't know that. Oh gosh, you don't know that a bullet to the leg is gonna really do anything to them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. That's my only problem. Like, shoot them somewhere else. Like, someone's had to figure out eventually that, you know what, we can't shoot them right center mass, so let's go for the legs.
Probably not gonna happen. Come on, man. That's just inventive right there.
I think that rail was
pretty strong.
Yeah, they were kept well maintained.
Oh. My question is just, where did he come from?
Exactly. But I mean, I'm sure he's, they're technologically advanced, so
True.
I'm sure he's listening in on everything. But yeah, he's jumped down from like the very top of the roof.
That, or he was like crouching in a corner over there and like leapt up.
Yeah.
Which is possible. I do not like this shot right here. Just the way he lands. It's just so quick. Anyway. And I love that. He just stands there. All right, then. And if you've ever seen, he's shooting a machine gun, but if you've ever seen like the bullets they shoot out of helicopters, they're insanely big.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. They do jump from awful high positions a little too much, but
is that CGI Bucky right there? Just the way he moves was a little odd.
I don't know. I'd have to.
Once again, if we sound nitpicky, it's because that's the only thing we really have to talk about.
The only thing is, like, I can understand. I mean, it has to be Black Panther's suit, right? Because, Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, they've got serum running through their veins.
Supposedly, I could be wrong about this, and once again, we'll have to wait on the Black Panther movie. But I believe in the comics there's a special plant that grows in Wakanda, and it might be a result of the vibranium there, that somehow if they take that, it enhances their abilities.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now, because I was watching, I think, Mr. Sunday's trailer breakdown.
Yeah, that may
and he was talking about that, and yeah, I forgot about that.
So that would make sense if they decide to go in that direction.
My only problem with the Black Panther costume and the Spider-Man costume, they existed, then they put a whole CGI
glaze over,
and I don't like that. I don't think it's
I agree.
needed. And there's times where it literally looks like it's CGI.
True.
And I'm just like, why can't you just have a regular suit?
Agreed. If you used it to augment the suit just a little bit, that's fine. But
yeah,
like Spider-Man's eyes, I'm sure that was
all
CG.
Yeah, the head part CG, but even like in some of these like just head shots of Black Panther when he's on the back of the van, it looks totally CGI. Like he wasn't really hanging there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure like they won't do that in the Black Panther movie.
Probably not.
Because yeah, it even looks like he has like a new suit that's just like matte black in the trailer. If you notice, like at the very end.
Not as much silver on it.
Yeah.
Went just a hair Flintstones right there, you know. You know what the deal with T'Challa is? He can go diplomatic immunity.
Well, that's true. Well, but technically, they technically are under arrest, but not at the same time.
They're not being charged.
Yeah, because the government's kind of stepping in.
Exactly. That's why Tony tells him, you sign this piece of paper, we can make the last 24 hours legal.
But see, that's the only thing, like, what the accords are to keep them in check, but the destruction's still going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
So that just passes the blame. Well, I guess is it just because then all the, 72 nations are
177 or 117
something.
Yeah.
So does that just mean they all accept the blame for whatever takes place?
That means that if they decided to act, well, really what it does is it negates the consequences, because if the UN decides that they're going to send the people in and something goes wrong, people can point fingers and blame, but no one's really going to be held accountable unless something goes spectacularly bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
because really that negates the blame, because if it's just the Avengers, they can be blamed and they can be sued and all that, but you know, who's going to sue the United Nations? You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know. Like, really, then it's not. I mean, it's not a horrible deal, really. I can understand because Captain America says, you know, they send us here, but we really need to be over here.
Exactly.
And it probably would become something political.
It most definitely would.
Yeah, so I can understand his leaning.
Because let's say you have a country, we'll say, not that if you're watching from Brazil, you're awesome, but let's say, you know, the Brazilian government, whatever, does some horrible act against whatever, and the Avengers feel like we need to go in, but because Brazil is good buddies with, say, China and Russia, which I don't know if they are in real life or not, but let's say they're good buddies with China and Russia can say, you know what, no, we don't support any intervention of the Avengers, but America and Britain want to do it, but they can't upset the balance of the world, therefore nothing gets done. You know what I'm saying? That's why the UN's a failure in general in real life, but we'll leave that for another time.
So, okay, I'm just trying to, well, I forgot. Yeah, I've lost, but that was a good explanation. No, it was just I was going to say something else and I lost it. Is this weird to you?
Robot romance.
But I mean, I guess it's because they're both created from the same stone that they may have some sort of connection.
It's possible, plus I think that
And I know in the comics,
she latches on Vision because he saved her at the end of Age of Ultron, but also, she trusted Ultron for a time and then he betrayed them, and she sees Vision as an integral part of taking him down. So in a way, he kind of avenged her brother's death in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
I don't know, and plus they're both outsiders. They're both strangers in a sense.
I forget how it's said, but I love how he always speaks out into the middle distance or whatever. He's always speaking out. He's always speaking to someone else.
Good response would have been as long as I have to.
I don't know. I think this is a time where they chose not to say anything and it actually paid off.
D23.
Because I've never noticed that before. Because once again, Marvel does have a bad tendency to say something and then tack on some dumb line.
Look, you've got Martin Freeman and you've got Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. You have to have the two meet at some point. It just has to happen.
Yeah, but they don't really have a reason to meet.
Infinity War, man. It's the mixing and mingling of the universe.
But I doubt you're going to bring in Everett Ross.
It's possible. He's in Black Panther.
Well, I know that, but I don't know. I think by the time you get to that point, you're going to have 30 heroes. You don't really need I'm pretty sure by then you're going to kind of have to drop off side characters.
I really hope that, I don't know what spurred me to think about that. I guess your talk of side characters. But I hope in either Infinity War or Thor Ragnarok, they find a way to wrap up that Natalie Portman storyline. I just want one scene where they go back, close it out. Same thing with Pepper Potts. They go back, they close it out, and they're done.
I honestly don't think they'll ever mention it ever again. Just because I think it didn't end amicably.
Between Natalie Portman and the studio.
Yeah.
I think they could get her back for one scene, though. I think if they gave her a pretty good paycheck for it, I think they could get her back for one scene.
Once again,
3 days of shooting.
Yeah, once again, they'll never mention her again.
I disagree. I think they will try and wrap it up if they can.
Nope, they won't. Because
the one thing that'll never be discussed is how Edward Norton changed into Mark Ruffalo.
Well, see, that's something that doesn't need to be discussed.
Yeah.
And once again, Marvel Studios, I believe at the end of the day, Marvel Studios is a corporation like anyone else.
Yeah.
And if they don't like you for whatever reason, that's it. You're gone. And once again, I don't think they'll ever wrap that up just cause. And even if in Thor Ragnarok they say something, she's not going to be there. It's just going to be like a throwaway line. Because technically, they've already said, I think Kevin Feige's already said, you know what, it just didn't work out. He's always out saving the universe, and she's done.
But I feel like they need to mention it just because if they truly want to keep that cohesion of a cinematic universe, they need to at least address it. Whether she's in that scene or not, they need to at least have a 5 seconds where they be like, yeah, what? I tried to make it work. He's talking to someone, he's like, I tried to make it work with this Earth girl once. We both just realized we couldn't because we were so different.
See, to me, she's not even an important character. That character had a chance to be something, and then they just ruined her. And so I don't think she's even a character worth even... honestly, I've forgotten about her till you mention her. Because Jane Foster's just she never really did anything. So once again, I don't think they'll ever mention that. Gwyneth Paltrow's, technically, she could come back if she ever wanted to. And if anyone does come back, I think it'll be her later on.
I think she's in Spider-Man Homecoming. That may be a...
See, I've
read a cast list thing.
Yeah, me too. So maybe.
We'll see.
And yeah.
If they do it just to wrap it up between her and Tony, it'd be a weird place to do that. But if they did that, I'd be totally fine with that. And by the way, I know we got off on that Thor tangent. Sorry about that. But I do love this scene where they both kind of have their talk it out moment.
Exactly. You think he finally, but he never admits to. And that's why I kind of like it at the end where Captain America just beats the snot out of him.
Well, here's the thing, though. When you think about it, Tony Stark, even though he's a very self-depreciating character on the inside, he's not to other people. He puts on a very prideful front, and I think that's why he can't just come out and say, it's all my fault, I'm sorry. Because he's got that, public image pride thing, but inside he beats himself up over it. That's what makes him a great character, because he's got that little bit of a contradiction going on. Oh my gosh. I just realized something. I'll have to tell you later.
Okay.
Sorry, audience. It is nothing bad or anything. It's just like has to do with like superhero personalities and stuff.
Okay, I know where you're going. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Bird costume.
I didn't write it. One thing I will say, I haven't seen Homecoming yet, so I can't say why. But it feels like they just missed a golden opportunity to take another version of Falcon's suit and make it the Vulture's.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah. We'll have to see how it plays out because in the trailers, to me, it just looks like way too
monstrous
huge.
wings, yeah. And I'm like, you could have used the Falcon suit and had him mod those wings a little bit, make them a little bit bigger, and it could have been,
yeah. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah. Then again, his suit's like a prototype, so.
Once again, what I don't know what gives that away.
Yeah.
That's like
That's one of those eat moments.
Yeah,
because think about it.
because it's just like immediately they're like that interrogator. There's something about him.
It works.
And once again, there may be a deleted scene, like he may have like
tipped something off,
or like they were just gonna hold him, and then all of a sudden this guy shows up, and like we're gonna give him a psych evaluation or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, that actually might be it, because like Tony Stark's like, we'll send him off to the American psych ward or whatever. I don't think that's actually a deleted scene that you get, but maybe it was something later on. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Real fast, what do you think of Martin Freeman's American accent?
It's the same as every British
Very neutral, like...
And Midwestern.
Sounds like they're from Indiana, every single one of them.
Yeah. Like I said, I give a lot of passes this movie because there's like how many movies we at now? 13, 14?
Spider-Man: Homecoming is the 16th Marvel movie.
Goodness, I've lost some. So you know what? 16 movies in, I'll give you a pass, and all of them have at least been good. none of them have been like just awful.
The worst movie, in my opinion, is probably Iron Man 2. And here's the thing. I know some people think that's a bad movie. And if you do, that's your opinion. That's awesome. But I will say, even at the worst limit of it, Iron Man 2 is, at worst, mediocre. It's not bad. And the movie as a whole is okay. It's just, it's bad in comparison to the original Iron Man and not bad in the sense of a movie on its own.
See, I think Iron Man 2 was a huge misstep by Marvel Studios.
But they learned.
They didn't know what they were doing. Like,
yeah.
They had so much success, so they did what any other studio would do, automatically go for that cash cow without ever thinking through the story, and it just ended up becoming a trailer for the next, for the Avengers movie. And a lot of people say they have a tendency to do that. I never feel like any of their movies...
Iron Man 2 and Age of Ultron
are the only two that
like,
were like setting up the sequel.
Exactly.
But, like, I don't like Iron Man 3. I don't know why.
I think it'll go down as okay, and that's...
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why. It just feels like I got burnt on that movie. I don't know why.
Commentary sometime.
And I mean, like, I don't even, like I said, I don't even read the comics, so I don't know why it would have bothered me the way it did.
Poor Sam Wilson.
I know.
I love tracking shots like that. Because, like, that's the actors actually doing it right there, actually performing the stunts. Now, that was probably a stunt guy.
Oh, yeah.
I do love how that even if Tony doesn't have his suit, he's still kind of armed.
Oh, yeah. I love how you're just going to shoot his head off. Oh, that's great.
I originally thought, the first time I saw that shot in the trailer, I thought that the bullet actually hit his glasses, and his glasses were bulletproof. Because I didn't see his hand over the muzzle. But in real life, his free hand was on the slide, so that would have messed the crap out of his hand. And I love how Black Panther's, other than Captain America, is pretty much the only one who can take him on one-on-one.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully we get some explanation on his
powers.
Yeah, because he's got more than just a normal human. Even with all the training in the world, he's still got something to him.
I'd tell you, like, Black Widow's kind of the pinnacle of what you can do as a human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Actually, when you think about it, Captain America fell on the ice and was frozen for nearly 70 years. Bucky, he was put in cryo when they didn't need him to keep him alive. But those few times he was out of cryo, he technically aged. So he's actually probably slightly older than Captain America at this point. And, oh man, this coming up right here. This is one of the coolest things ever. I mean, come on. That is epic.
Yeah.
And I love how they can make something like, that's not saving the universe. That's not saving the world. That's a dude trying to stop this guy from escaping. But he does it, they framed it in such an epic way that, Just awesomeness. Quick shot right there. Bucky hits his head and knocks him out.
Yeah, once again, that's one of those things I can nitpick. I mean, when you're jumping off 20-story buildings,
Yeah.
and they've already, there's times when Captain America literally cracks his head and he's just like, keep going. It's just like, whatever. See, once again, that's a little contrived because they had to escape for his plan to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just took for granted that they were going to, but there wasn't really anyone that could stop.
You do realize that's why he knocked out the power, right?
Well, but that wouldn't do anything with stopping from escaping.
Gave him a shot to escape. And he's one of those people.
Well, yeah, but I meant there wasn't really anyone that could stop him from escaping anyway.
Except Captain America, but he would probably help him out. So.
Well, no, I'm talking about these two escaping.
Oh.
Not Zemo escaping.
Well,
actually, it does. His whole plan hinges on him escaping and Captain America and the Winter Soldier escaping. Because if none of them escape, it kind of they can't move on with the story.
Yeah.
And I get eventually Captain America will escape, so you can work that out.
Yeah.
Because it's his goal to get out.
Well, he may not even escape technically, because for all Zemo knew, because he's Captain America, they were going to give him a pass this time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but still, if Zemo would have get caught, that's it.
Yeah.
This movie's over. Once again, don't have a problem with it. Just if you think about it too much.
I remember watching this movie, and I'll go ahead and mention it right now, and I am so happy they didn't have some big fight at the end between 5 Winter Soldiers and everyone. You know what I'm saying?
That was genius.
Yes.
Because when they said that in the theater, I'm pretty sure everyone was like,
oh.
Because I know I've heard people talk about it. They're like, the movie was great, but then they said that, and we're just like, oh, they're going to just get the same old thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a fake out, and it was a really good fake out.
Yes, it was.
Because, when they said that, I remember the theater, I'm just like, really? This is as good as it's going to get? And then you come to find out, it plays actually no part.
And it was a good change.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure all of these dudes are stunt doubles for this movie. I think the girl is Black Widow's stunt double. I think. I can't remember, but
That poor doctor. The beard. What you actually don't see is that guy with the beard. He can harden his beard into a spear and just stab people.
Does have a great beard.
It's a side effect.
Okay, so here's something that, for me, I missed the first time I watched this movie because I didn't understand why they were fighting at the airport,
Uh-huh.
and
Didn't understand Cap's team.
well, no, I didn't understand why they were fighting at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, I didn't understand why, like, they brought Hawkeye came out of retirement, brought in Ant-Man, and for me, it felt like they just wanted all these dudes to fight. But the second time, I realized he put a team together to go face the 5 Winter Soldiers.
Right.
And I think, for me, I don't know, to me, it just never did come across in the movie. Like, it was just like he put a team together, and I know a lot of people thought they were just fighting at the airport just cause, but they were really doing it because they were going to face the 5 Winter Soldiers, but he showed up to
stop them and bring them in.
Yeah, and so they had to fight.
Exactly.
And once again, they had to fight.
Yeah.
That fight had to take place.
They had to get out that frustration some way.
Well, I'm just saying they had to fight.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they could just talk about it.
Exactly.
Well, actually, they did actually talk about it. And he's like, I don't care.
Well,
Because
they tried to explain, but they think Cap's just making it up so he can get out there with Bucky.
Well, I mean, yeah, Captain America does say, "Listen, there's 5 more just like him." Yeah, I'm done.
You're good. You're good.
No,
keep going. Done. I love how he's a dumpster diver. I think that's hilarious.
They're probably good trash in New York.
Yeah, never know what you can find. Probably just old cannolis.
I don't understand people's obsession with the young Aunt May. Aunt May has always been too old in actuality.
You're exactly right.
She's always been way too old for a 16-year-old kid.
That's absolutely true.
What I mean? So, this is the only Aunt May that actually makes sense,
They did a good job in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. She was probably, in her 60s, which wasn't too old. Yeah. Because Ben Parker was Richard Parker's, older brother. So, it kind of made sense there. But I agree. She's great as Aunt May.
It's just, I know some people have issues or whatever. Just this only makes sense like this. Yeah. He's 16, maybe at the oldest.
She would be at oldest 55.
Yeah, even if she's the older sister or whatever. So yeah,
she wouldn't even have to be the older sister since Ben and Richard were brothers.
And oh yeah, that's true.
I know the Amazing Spider-Man tried to go into this about his parents, and I don't want there to be they were secret agents working for the government and all that crap. I don't like that storyline, but I do wish they would say even in the comics his parents were always a huge question mark. It was just they died when I was young or died in a plane crash. I'm just it'd be really cool if they told that some other way,
If they ever do mention it, I don't think it's going to be for at least 2 Spider-Man movies.
No, I agree, and I think the only thing they should ever say is just be when I was young, my parents, they died in I think a car crash would be even better. They died in a car crash.
Well, I think you need to change it up a little bit since Tony's parents technically died in a car crash. Not really, but...
Well, some way,
I mean, my only issue with, Spider-Man now, once again, we don't need an origin, whatever, but he did technically create his own web shooters and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just pushing it a hair too much for me. I can understand building his suit because it's not the actual suit that he has. It's actually a pretty junky suit.
Mm-hmm.
But those web shooters are still something.
Well, he is, even, I know you're not a big comics guy, but this is, a little bit of a more comic accurate Spider-Man. Even in the comics, he was a super intelligent person. Even before he got bit by a spider, he was a very smart, intelligent kid. So,
I mean, Spider-Man's the one character everyone probably knows anything about.
Yeah.
And he's still, the favorite, comic book character. he sells still the most more merchandise. Like anybody, like if you look at the numbers,
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
it's still like 60% higher than the closest ones.
Which I think it's the Avengers is next, right? Then Batman.
I forget, but it still
Yeah.
outsells everything.
And the reason it works is because everyone can see themselves as Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, and
Not everyone can see themselves as Batman. Not everyone can see themselves as Superman or Iron Man, but everyone can see themselves as Spider-Man.
Once again, I haven't seen Homecoming, but that's the thing that's come out of it. They finally gave you a hero who actually is struggling with everyday life.
Exactly.
Instead of favorite review, I don't know who said it, I loved it. He's like, this Spider-Man doesn't have the time to take care of that
existential teen angst.
Yeah, teen existential angst. You know, because they're always, like I said,
why am I here? Who am I?
Andrew Garfield, that's all he did for his series. Like, who am I? And then once again, Tobey Maguire, all he did was cry for 3 movies. I mean, it was. Once again, if you had to ask me, I don't like any of the Spider-Man so far. Spider-Man 2 was fine. It was kind of
great.
It's boring. I haven't
great.
watched it in so long. Maybe I need to watch it one of these days. But I never did like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He was always, to me, Tobey Maguire was kind of chunky for a Spider-Man. He was, or at least he was wide. He was a little.
He has a baby
wide.
face, and I think that's what it is.
But his body was wide. Like, to me, Spider-Man's skinny as a rail, and that's why I liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Looked great in a costume.
Yeah, I'll give you.
But I didn't really like his Peter Parker.
Say what you will about the Amazing Spider-Man series, the Spider-Man suit in Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the best suit I've seen. I even think it's better than what's in Civil War and Homecoming.
Yeah, I disagree, but
because to me, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit was the best, most comic accurate suit I've ever seen.
Well,
and if you're
you said Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Not the first Amazing Spider-Man. I do not like that suit. Amazing Spider-Man 2 had the best suit I have seen in a Spider-Man movie.
Once again, I can't remember it exactly, but once again, I'm all for the new Spider-Man. I'm already saying it's going to be the best version we've got just because Marvel. It's Marvel. I'm a Vision on Century Movies. I still like the Homecoming suit.
Sorry, I was showing him a picture of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Like I said, say what you will about that movie. I think the suit's fantastic. It looks really good in that movie.
It's still a little too dark. It's more red and blues.
I do love how, even though Vision is like stupid powerful, you can still do things to stop him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to be as powerful as him to hurt him. And even Hawkeye, who, let's be honest, most people consider the weakest of the Avengers, can still have a chance at hurting him.
Yeah.
I want to point out something here in just a second. Right here, Vision gets him in a headlock. Look at Paul Bettany's bicep. I mean, just look at that. Gosh, that dude's ripped. What do you think of Vision's suit?
I mean, it's technically not a suit, is it?
No, but his design, I'll put it that way.
Oh, it's fine to me. I think they did well with the colors because could have got a little too Christmas tree, but
True.
You know.
How far did you push him down?
My question is, how many levels did that building have in the first place?
That's true.
Behavioral pattern scans.
That would be a good fight.
Oh yeah, I remember this shot coming up. It's great. Two friends. He's got two best friends that hate each other.
Exactly.
I love it.
Cap's like, I better take the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It's just kind of like he just goes for it, and maybe, yeah. Once again, I don't know. Come on, where's it at? Where's it at? Right here. Greatest shot. Love that shot.
That I remember the crowd reaction to that in theater was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I also love it when
I
we
know.
get on this little tiny car.
Beep beep. Yeah.
Especially like how huge Chris Evans is compared.
Yeah. Paul Rudd just makes this scene right here.
How did Ant-Man end? Can't remember. Like, I know they.
He's basically cool with his family, and he's gonna keep on being Ant-Man because that's the best way he can atone for his past crimes.
Where was he at though at the end of the movie? Was
he was with Hank Pym.
Okay, I can't remember.
I think he'd still probably beat him.
I don't know. Maybe he upgraded his tech since then.
True.
Like, I need to track tiny people.
I think he could only beat him if he absolutely had to, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Falcon's a great character, though. I thought they were all going to be following Cap when I first saw that shot. And I was like, they're doing the lineup. I gotta be honest, I'm less and less impressed with the design of Iron Man suits as the movies go on. I still think the original, the suit at the end of Iron Man 2 and beginning of Avengers is the best suit he's had.
I don't know. I like War Machine. I like this version instead of like whatever Iron Patriot.
Yeah. Perfect line. When it comes to actual fighting ability, I think Captain America and Black Panther are pretty evenly matched.
Probably. Pretty sure this scene takes 17 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
And the whole of the Batman versus Superman is 8 minutes.
Yeah.
On a 2.5 hour movie.
Hardcore DC fans aren't going to like us very much, are they?
I don't care. Here's the deal. And I find it funny. After Wonder Woman did succeed, what did Warner Brothers do? They said, you know what? Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, yeah, we got it wrong.
That's good, though.
Well, they would have never said that,
That's
though.
true.
Unless Wonder Woman was good. So, it's just, yeah. Once again, I don't care because those movies are just awful. They just are. Like, we've had more action in however long we are here than the entirety of Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. In my opinion, combined. And we still got like an hour left.
Yeah.
And once again, we don't need these teen existential angst, which DC's obsessed with.
I do love the one-liners. So great. Whoops. Here we go. And I do want to point out, I think the reason Vision mainly sits this out is because he knows he could probably kill everyone like that.
I agree. It's just he really does nothing for the fight.
And also, I think part of that might also be because, he could be the last tool in Tony's tool belt. If everything goes wrong, then they can have Vision. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Vision's not controlled by anyone. He's pretty much.
But he sides with Stark. He is technically Jarvis.
Technically, but I don't think though Tony can tell him what to do. Really, he just sides with Tony Stark because of logic.
True.
And to me, logic is the only reason. For me, the only reason he's not fighting is maybe he sees this whole thing as illogical.
Sorry, this shot right here. But yeah, that's true.
Maybe he just pictures this as illogical and also, like you said, he understands that he could destroy humanity if he wanted to.
And he doesn't understand his powers all that well still.
Yeah.
Because he says he has no idea what that stone is. So, he probably only absolutely moves in when he has to. And he probably makes sure the fight doesn't get too out of hand.
See, to me that's a dumb line. Cause you were trying to kill him. What was he going to do?
It's true.
I don't know. I always found that just the weirdest thing ever. It's like, why did you run? I don't know. Cause you're trying to kill me. Hey, he went for the legs. We have a winner. Oh, see, yes.
Did you see that retcon where they made that little kid from Iron Man 2, Peter Parker?
Yeah, and I have no problem with it.
I don't either. I think that's awesome.
I actually like that one.
I do too. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, straight out of the comics, thank you, Russos.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes. And I think the Russos knew that this scene kind of was the perfect way to give comic fans what they've always wanted to see.
Yeah.
Oh. That's fantastic.
I am interested to see what they do next with Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp has a shot at being a really great, like, kind of buddy cop action movie.
Technically, they use their one thing, the Giant Man, in this one, which it makes probably more sense to use it here than in a solo Ant-Man movie.
True.
Because I mean, I don't know who they would be fighting where he would need
that, yeah. And also, now that Yellow Jacket's gone, who do you fight in the sequel?
See, I have no idea if Ant-Man's rogue going.
I wish they would have kept him alive. That would have been pretty great. Just right here. Oh, heck yes. Go blue.
Yeah. And he that's pretty good CGI. He exists really well in this scene.
Exactly. And I love Spider-Man's catch right there. And also the reversal that's coming up where Spider-Man like flies in on War Machine. That's just fantastic. And see, now the fight's getting out of hand and this is where Vision starts to intervene.
Yeah.
Because there's a real chance now that Tony could lose. Love this. Oh.
I love, and it's really good movement too.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to be as quick.
Awesome. I don't care. That'd be cool if they became really good friends later on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't. To me, that line made him seem like a really just like a jerk to me.
He kind of is, though, when you think about it. Well, Black Panther's always been that character that, unless it's my business, I really don't care. Get out of my way.
I know,
He's always been that kind of guy.
Just, I think eventually something will give, but.
Just barely made it in there. It's not that old.
Well, but for him it would be.
Well, 1980.
Well, I mean, and he was probably born in 2000.
I want to point out, though, he says snow planet and walking thingies. If Peter Parker's a true geek, he would have known that those are AT-ATs and that planet was Hoth. Just saying.
But I don't think he's a geek, though.
He's a nerd.
Yeah. He's super smart, but...
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I just feel like that's an in joke that I'm just not getting.
Like I said, the one thing I wish, and I don't know why, I wish at least Captain America and Black Widow trade shots just one time.
Yeah.
Just early on.
Yeah.
And then maybe she could do this bit here because whatever she did fight him, it would never be like, it would just be whatever because of Winter Soldier and all that. I don't know, I just like to see them two fight.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
See how
that turns out.
Yeah.
I even like how this fight's still technically not over. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just brutal right here.
I don't know. I'm still like, why is there not a parachute in these things?
Well, even if there was, that power just got knocked out. It wouldn't have known to activate.
Well, there should still be. Wait, I don't know. He could have it on his leg, like in the first Iron Man. He had flaps for whatever reason that could manually activate.
Those weren't flaps. Those were those were flares.
No, remember when he's freezing, icing over? They're not flaps. I don't know.
They're flares.
No, that was the end fight when he freezes over.
When he turns that right there.
The first time he freezes over and he's falling back. He doesn't use flares. He uses flares on the Ironmonger when they're fighting.
There are certain flaps there, but that still really wouldn't have cushioned his impact all that much.
No, what I'm saying is there's the ability to have a manual switch somewhere. And also,
there should be some small amount of backup power somewhere else.
And I guess it's maybe because it's not coming from the arc reactor itself, or not the one. Well, Tony Stark doesn't even have the one inside him anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's technically not Vision's fault. Like later on, he says he was distracted. He was, I, he wasn't.
He was focused on Wanda. But here's the thing: whenever he looked up and fired at him, he didn't calculate that.
But
Rhodey was ahead.
Well, I know, but he was gonna miss no matter what. He wasn't gonna hit Falcon. So to me, he's like, I was distracted. He was never gonna hit him in the first place.
50-50.
So like, whatever.
Good buddy moment right here.
Exactly. At least she sees it.
I will say this, like, I think the little scenes like this are what totally make this movie. It's the character interactions, not just the action. Because when you care about the characters, the action means something. And also, this is her last scene in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been cool if she would have shown up with him at the end, though.
Hell, she's pretty much switched sides at this point.
Yeah. I mean, showed up with Steve at the end.
Well, no, that was a Captain America scene.
You're right, but it still would have been cool to see her, like, maybe waiting in the corner of the room or something.
It's one of the Russos. I
Yes,
don't know their
is.
names.
I believe that is Anthony Russo.
Is it Anthony and James?
I think Joe.
Oh,
I believe Joe is the tall, thin one. It's a good name, Echo Scorpion.
Move so slow. It would take like days to get where you're going.
Probably only tops out at like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah. Be awful.
I mean, you can't exactly take a high-speed car out there, though.
It's gotta be a better way.
I'm happy he actually has to pull that door open, and it didn't just, swing open all the way.
Yeah.
Just a little touch. Yeah, this is called The Raft. Straight out of the comics and what is one of my favorite superhero animated series of all time, Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Hope we see this again. Because that would be a really great place to keep supervillains, just because your likelihood of breaking out of there is basically zero.
I mean, you still should listen to him.
Yeah.
I mean,
then again, he could think this is just a tactic to get Captain America out of trouble, though. I like how their suits or their prison outfits look like they monitor like their bioactivity. So like if they were to like try and off themselves, it would notify the guards. Never understood that reference till I watched The People versus OJ.
CV lawyer.
Mark Furman, no, he was a cop that was there that was brought in to witness, but then they played some tapes of him saying some like remarks about police brutality and stuff against people of color, and it just
The only problem is Tony Stark's in the room and your audio just cuts out. You immediately go inside that room.
Yeah, that's true. That right there ought to have told him something's up. I think he suspects it. He just
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been better if somehow they could have worked in like Black Panther's there, Tony Stark's there, maybe Ross in some capacity is there too.
maybe if he would have sent like a detail after him or something, and they showed up way after the fact.
Yeah.
Does it ever make you think like their outfits basically change from movie to movie? Doesn't matter which hero it is. And I understand doing like tiny little things, but like other than Iron Man, I don't see any reason why their suits would be upgraded. You know what I'm saying? Between every single movie. Like, for example, Captain America, I'm happy they got away from the Avengers outfit, which I didn't think was all that great. But the outfit for Age of Ultron, I thought was great. Why not stick with it? It's basically the same outfit, but this outfit's had, like, the minor touches done, and they've reworked the color scheme, and, you know.
Well, but I mean, Tony's always working, though.
That's true.
Technically, it's Tony Stark's putting everything together. So I'm sure every change has some reason, like a new material or
True.
whatever.
There's like I peeks out from behind shield there.
I don't know, there's a few times to me his head just isn't better.
Yeah. You can tell that suit's layered over him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a great reveal right here.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it was kind of a relief too. You're like,
yes,
they're not gonna have to fight all 5 of them.
You think I wanted more of you?
To me, Tony Stark would have something to cut through that. No problem.
True.
Whatever. Now we're getting to the nitpicky stuff. He just realized he's been fooled too. Everyone's been fooled by Zemo. Baron, well, yeah, never mind. Baron is a name. Like, is Baron a name or a title? I think it's both, isn't it?
Baron's a title. His first name is Helmet.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. Wish there was a little purple in his suit. Or he wore a purple scarf.
Purple toboggan.
Well, he could cover his hair up. Just a scarf.
This is a good saying.
I mean, the only thing is, all he has to do is punch the computer screen and be like, "This dude's just crazy. Let's get him."
He doesn't know what he's about to show him, though.
Well,
And Bucky doesn't even until he's a little bit into it.
well, does he not? Because, well, I can't remember. Let's see. Because he knows the Winter Soldier did this.
Yeah, well, he.
Because he even says,
Yeah.
yes, I did know.
Hmm.
See, to me, that one look says it all. I know about this, and I.
But here's the thing: if he would have stopped it right there, Tony probably would have went even more ballistic in what.
Well, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't have seen this part.
That's true.
All I'm saying is punch the screen out. Be like, this dude's crazy, ain't he?
Yeah. This is just brutal. You also got to remember, he sees Captain America, even if he doesn't like him sometimes, he sees him as the true North, never do anything wrong, never compromise. And by hiding that information, what that tells him is that Captain America is not as wholesome and good as he thought he was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's on Captain America.
It is.
I'm just saying, punch the computer screen, and no one knows better.
Is that the tank missile? Maybe.
And see, that's kind of my argument too. Like, even if he never told him, it's technically not his fault.
It's not, but once again, if Captain America, he didn't directly lie to him, but if he would lie by omission by not telling him who actually killed his parents, even though he knew that's the kind of thing you tell someone, he could be lying to say Bucky. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but if he ever did tell him, then Tony would still kill Bucky.
No, I don't think so. If he would have told him, Tony would have been mad. But right here, Tony's still in like the heat of passion. He would have had time to cool down about it, and Steve could have talked him into the idea that Hydra had control of his mind. Right now, Tony's just running off pure emotion.
I don't know.
Because his demons still haunt him, and even though, he had nothing to do with his parents' death, there's still unresolved issues there. And he's been under stress lately because of all the Sokovia stuff, and it's just all culminated into him having this flip out right here. And just awesome sauce. That would have had a lot more meaning if that would have still been part of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And, oh, yes. Straight out of the comics. Great line. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do like the fact that pretty much he's gonna have to live in his own mind pretty much for the rest of his life. I mean, he could come back, but
Yeah.
he's literally gonna have to live with, like you said, vengeance has consumed you,
Yeah.
and that's what he's gonna live with forever. My thing is, that's literally, I know Captain America's superhuman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are metal fists making contact with human.
I mean, you can see it on his face, though.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's just like,
Yeah.
that would kill anyone.
A regular person, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the best callbacks in the entire MCU.
Yep. I don't know, like I said, there's still part of you is like, I'm glad someone beat up Tony Stark.
Finally brought him down just a little bit. The only thing I don't like here is when he drops the shield. I just don't feel like that was a good decision.
But I understand it. Because, I mean,
I understand what it means, but it.
I mean, it's not like he's never going to get it back.
No, but it feels like it's something he should have took with him.
Like I said, I actually like the shield drop. They're divided. He accomplished what he wanted.
Nice cut to black. Great comeback. Did it?
Like I said, I'm interested to see how much it'll play when they get back together again.
I hope they have a really great scene where they're all standing in a room and just pointing fingers and screaming at each other.
Oh, something needs to happen. I don't want to just stick. Like, even if Thanos shows up and it's all utter destruction, there still needs to be a point where they're like,
we're gonna have to put aside our differences
to
work together.
Yeah, I don't know. You just can't just walk away from what happened in Civil War.
Exactly. And I love this because it shows there's a cost to what happened. You know, Rhodey's not going to be able to walk without assistance from now on. Yeah.
And, I mean, basically it's Tony Stark now. All by himself.
He's got Rhodey and he's got Vision, but that's it. Yeah.
Get Spider-Man, but I'm sure that's going to change. No,
I think he sees Spider-Man as more of like one of his projects instead of
one
of his friends.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
You gotta love Stanley.
Yeah.
I agree that look there was a bit off.
Yeah.
But it was, but
There's almost a smirk there.
there was. He could have been thanking the courage this guy has to give me a phone to
Oh,
contact
yeah.
him. Yeah,
Well, that's true too. He could be just like, is he
can't
really...
believe this guy.
Yeah.
So, overall, what do you think of this movie?
Like I said, it's really good. Uh, it's maybe a tad contrived. The fighting, especially the end fight. But like I said, it's nowhere the level of Batman Superman at all. Um, I think as of right now, I think I put this at number like 6 or something on my list of Marvel movies.
Wow, really?
Yeah, just because. Yeah, just once you get rid of all whatever, whatever the word I'm looking for, the look of it and the fighting.
The aesthetic.
Yeah, it's just like some of it just doesn't work for me. Like once again, it's a really good movie. I love all the characters. I like all the progression. Just sometimes I don't buy the motivations or the reason they do some of the stuff they do.
This, to me, though, a movie like this, it can only really be done one way, and I think they did it the best way possible.
No, yeah, I mean,
And that's just, a movie like this is about as good as you can get it.
oh yeah, like for a hero versus hero, this is what it has to be,
Right.
and they did it right. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, what is the mid credit for this movie?
Wakanda.
Oh yeah, and then the last one's the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh, we're already here. That was quick. Like I said, I'm pretty sure. I think our Sebastian Stan showed up on the set of like Infinity War not too long ago. I think I read that, or I might have dreamt it, but I'm pretty sure. And he made, well, I think Black Panther is going to be solely Black Panther. I think it's going to be completely.
They might have the camera pan for a second and show Winter Soldier in the crowd too, but I think that'll be it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be straight up just Black Panther or Wakanda movie. Yeah, I think it's going to be like standalone.
Yeah.
Its own thing.
They might have some callbacks to Age of Ultron, but
maybe. Well, yeah, I guess. Like I said, technically the king's dead.
Yeah.
So, and
it's going to be about him picking up that mantle.
Yeah, he's just now technically getting back to his kingdom. And I guess from the trailers, it seems like there's all these factions now rising up to take control of it. So,
yeah,
we'll see. Like I said, I like the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exactly how you do a trailer. You tease it and show nothings. But like I said, supposedly Homecoming's not as... they didn't give away as much as you think.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
Which, I mean, I expect we might get a little bit of a step forward in Thor Ragnarok because it has Doctor Strange in it. And it probably will deal with Infinity Stones and possibility we see Asgard being wiped out. So I think that'll be part of it. So that'll be a step forward. But it'll be Infinity War before we get the next kind of chapter in this.
That's true. And I actually kind of think they're going to save that last Infinity Stone for Infinity War.
I agree.
I personally I don't think Thor Ragnarok, it could, well, actually, I forget which one's left.
The Soul Stone. Doctor Strange had the Time Stone. The Soul Stone is what's left. I believe Heimdall is the Soul Stone.
Well, oh yeah, that's right. You told me about that.
I think Infinity War will be Thanos gathering all the stones. And I think they've already shown set photos that were taken secretly where it show Vision fighting some people in Infinity War, and that might be how they get that Mind Stone.
Oh yeah. But I saw some pictures too where he was like human. Did you see those?
I didn't see those, no.
Where like Paul Bettany was just Paul Bettany.
Although Vision can change his appearance, so he might just be disguising himself in public.
Or I don't know. Or somehow when you rip the stone out, he becomes human. Well, I don't think he'd become human.
Yeah.
But he just, I don't know what he would be.
We'll have to see.
But yeah, I don't think they're going to just kill him off. Like I said, I don't think anyone's going to die. And if they do...
Well, die in the first part anyway. Avengers 4, that's
once again, I still think Tony Stark will die. And if he does, he'll come back so he can have a proper send-off from the MCU.
I think there's Avengers Infinity War. I think the fourth Avengers and kind of the final one in a sense for this phase of things. I think it'll probably be called Infinity Gauntlet.
And also, I mean, this would be a way to send off Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
He's been there since the beginning. And also, no offense, but they probably want out of the contract, dude.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that's making a killing off these movies. Like, everyone's making...
They're making, don't get me wrong, they're making good money.
Well, yeah, but they're only making like maybe 6, some maybe 10. But that's even pushing it. But he's making like 40, 50 million. He's getting like stuff off tickets and things like that. So it would be just time to just part ways and stuff like that. But anyway, it is what it is. I like Captain America Civil War. It's actually the best. It's a great trilogy. I know some people like to call it Avengers, whatever. I still think it's a Captain America film.
It is.
Even if it's not, it's at least bookended. It starts Captain America, ends Captain America.
True.
And that's good enough for me.
He'll suit up one more time in the Infinity Wars and then probably go away and let Bucky take care of it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want him just to jump into Infinity War. There needs to be some consequence to...
Here's our favorite one, digital artist.
Like I said, none of them is as bad as the Avengers.
Oh my
Avengers,
gosh,
I've never seen one like that.
It was literally the entire screen for 30 seconds.
And it was left to right. There was no spaces, nothing. I'm still amazed by that.
That was Age of Ultron, wasn't it?
No, it was the first Avengers.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember that.
Only thing is, I think we mentioned this during Doctor Strange, like the whole, they probably have one people do the background replacements, they have another team do the digital touch-ups on the suits, they have another team do the, effects when Iron Man shoots his phasers or whatever.
Well, that's true. These are all different studios, so that first one, I don't know if it was maybe they either didn't separate them or it was all just one company that did it.
I don't know. Like another company probably did the young Tony Stark look, and
well, I'm just talking about that first Avengers. But yeah, see, I've seen like 5 different studios so far, and also I guess by now they could hire out more than maybe they could at the beginning, because there's Lola Signside, whatever. There's another one, Cantina, Animal Logic. It's interesting. I will say something else. I don't know if you've seen the pictures from Infinity War, but people are now speculating that Tony Stark's going to have his arc reactor again.
Remember, if Thanos gets hold of that time stone, he can wreak all kinds of havoc.
That's true.
They could literally, they're not going to do this, I don't believe. But they could literally reboot, and they'd be a terrible decision to do this, but they could literally reboot the universe to where everything never happened.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
See, there's a part of me that would kind of tick me off. But there's another part of me that would be a very bold move, and I would kind of be okay with it. But X-Men did technically do that.
Yeah.
They kind of just erased their whole timeline. Georgia, everything. They shoot a lot of stuff in Georgia now.
That they are. I think they give them really good tax breaks.
Yep. So, like I said, hopefully go see Spider-Man this week. I'm excited for it. See Tom Holland in his own film. So that's technically actually a different web shooter.
I think so.
So actually,
Tony Stark helped him with
so
those.
really his ones that he had, we don't actually know what they were.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, I guess that's been our commentary, guys. If you like this video, like it. If you didn't, sorry. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll tune in next time. Any final thoughts, Andrew?
No, I'm good.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks, and God bless.